And therefore, Baruch Hashem, there's a mitzvah Chazal bring down the Gemara in Megillas Zayin Amud Beis Amar Rav Mechayiv Inish LeBesume BePuraya Ad Lo Yada Ben Oraham LeBaruch Mordechai. A person is chayiv to get spicy, to get fragrant, to get, in the lashon of the Shiva last night, to get very high on Purim. He said that many times to the community, to get very high on Purim. Ad lo yada ben araham lebaruch Mordechai. Now, it's a very interesting thing because us as Yidden, we don't really look so favorably on drinking. In fact, drinking is a midah meguna ad me'oid. Being somebody who drinks is a terrible thing. So much so that the Torah, you don't have to go any further and look at the psukim in the Torah of Noach and Lot, terrible things that happen through drinking. Without getting into all the details, Noach has a bad ending from drinking, and Lot has incestual relations. Drinking is not a good thing to be involved in. That's why are bars and pubs and nightclubs and discos such places of ill repute and sin? Because what do they all have in common? The tzad hashava shebehem? Drinking. I never found a pub or a club that doesn't have drinking. That's the tzad hashava. That's why it leads to such things. So you notice Yidden are not drinkers. We're very sober, level-headed people. When you think of the tzaddikim, you think of people that are using their seichel, that are using their moyach. And drinking is something that takes us out of our seichel, removes the seichel. So why would there be such a day that we get to such a darga that the Gemara says, Mechayiv inish lebesume? Furthermore, the Mefarshim point out, if you read the Hemshech of the Gemara says what? That what happened? That Rabbi Reb Zera avdu sudas Purim bahadi adodi, that they made a suda together. And what happened? Come Rabbi got up and shechted Reb Zera. It just Leibede, right? And boy Rachmei, and he davened for him, and he brought him back to life. So what happened the next year? That he came. I had a nice time with you last year. Maybe you'll come to me again for Purim. So he said that miracles don't happen every year. They don't happen all the time. So those that learn that the Gemara was chayzer. The Gemara said, and then the Gemara says, and this is what could happen if you do that. So there are those that learn that the Gemara was chayzer, and therefore there's no mitzvah. That's one mahalach. That really, it's not such a thing, and therefore the proper mahalach of a yid is to be very careful. And the Beis Yosef brings the Orchas Chaim, lahalacha, that when it says Chayiv lebesume b'puraya, it doesn't mean she is shtaker. Shichrus, getting drunk, is an Isser Gomer. There's no bigger avera gedola mizu. To lose your moyach, who knows what a person's going to do? Shu goyim legili arayis v'shvichas damim v'kama arayis zulosan, terrible things. Ach sheyishte yoysim elimudoi me'at. So rather, what is the niceness, what is the freilichkeit of Purim? If you normally have, 1 cup of wine, so have 1 cup and a little bit extra, a little bit, just that you feel nice, you feel good, but not shichrus. Certainly not to get drunk. It's a terrible thing. That's what the Beis Yosef brings down. And the Korban Asano also goes with this. He says, Besume is not shichrus. Now, by the way, the Gemara could have said, Mechayiv inish lishtaker, that a person's chayiv to get drunk. The Gemara didn't say that. It says, Mechayiv besume. Besume is a very interesting word. It means to get spicy, to get a good feeling. Says Rashi says it like it is. He says, Lebesume lishtaker beyayin. So anyone who feels they want to be machmer, like Rashi, you have whom to rely upon. Rashi said, lishtaker beyayin. Now, they bring down that why did Rashi say dafka yayin? Maybe anything that's mishaker a person. So that's what Rabbi Kiva Eger says on Rashi. Rashi though said yayin. What's with yayin? Before we get into yayin, let's mention a couple more shitas. The Sfas Emes says that what was the chiyuv? The chiyuv wasn't that you have to get to this darg of shichrus. The chiyuv is that all day long you should be in like a freilich mood. Purim dik, levidik, gevaldik. That once you're in that zone and you're trying, to get to that good place, so you're already going to be potter from fulfilling the mitzvah because you did it. Even though the whole day, just by being oisik in it, you're yotzi. The famous shita they bring in the name of the Rambam, and the Ramah brings this lahalacha, is what does it mean to get to the darga of ad lo yada? Is that you should drink a little bit and then go to bed. You should drink a little bit and go to bed. Now I was at a shir last night with Rosh Shiva, Shlita, and he went the whole shir and didn't mention the Ramah, and then somebody said, well, Rabbi, I thought maybe, the Ramah, he said, I didn't want to say it. So he said, maybe somebody wants to be machmer. The Ramah says, if you go to bed, then you don't know the difference between blessed is Mordechai and cursed is Haman, right? Because you're sleeping. So you drink and then you go to bed. So the Rosh Shiva said, that's not a chumrah. That's a kula. The Ramah is a kula. Someone who doesn't feel like he knows what to do with his wine, you should go to bed. He wanted to say that you think Chazal had in mind, I'm saying the words of Rosh Shiva. You think Chazal had in mind that was the groise mitzvah, is to have a little bit yosim elimudu and go to bed? He was saying as a kula, if you can't hold your wine. Somebody said, but I don't know if I could handle it. He said, basically, you should be able to. And he said, if you need to practice this week to find something that you like, to get ready, he said this. He said, maybe you have to get ready a little bit because there's going to come the time where Mechayv Nish L'Besumei. And he said you have to do it on something that you like. Besumei, the pashtus, is something that you like to drink. Something that you like.
What's mashta?
The shtaka b'yayin, so the yayin that you like.
A dafka yayin that you like.
That you like. Not stam, a 5 shekel bottle of yayin.
Not like whiskey or something.
So they ask on Rashi, they said, what's the inyan, why not with yayin sraf or something else? Maybe other substances. So the Mefarshim I'll bring down is that the whole nace was through yayin. The whole nace of calling Vashti to come, because ki toiv leiv hamelech beyayin, and everything is about yayin, and then Esther makes a party with yayin. Everything is yayin. Nishenichnas yayin yoytze soid. That when the wine goes in, the secrets come out. Because wine, 70 is the gematria, 70 soid, that's the secrets. Yain has some soid. There's the yain that's meshumr b'toich hanovav. There's a special secret inside the grapes. The yain Hungarian, if you will, the special Hungarian wine, the good stuff. So to find the best wine that you like, that tastes good to you, and that's what the Rosh Hashanah said. If you don't know, maybe this week, he said, I don't know if you have to leave Seder for it, but do a sampling if that's what you need. Find something that you like and make sure that you're ready for the, this is a chefetz shel mitzvah. You go to the store, you should look at this bottle like you're buying an Ester. I see this bottle like this is my weapon, not like Rabbi of Zera, but this is my weapon against Amalek. You understand? This is a chefetz shel mitzvah. I'm going to use this properly. So find something that you like. Now, what is the darga that we have to get to? What does it mean ad lo yada ben oraham leborach Mordechai? So Tosfos brings down that really you have to say the whole song. The lo yada ben oraham leborach Mordechai brings the Ushami Arura Zerish Barucha Ester. That you know that Arura Zerish is the wife of Haman, and Barucha Ester, and Esther is blessed. Arurim kol ha'irashayim, Baruchim kol ha'yehudim. And cursed is all the wicked ones, and blessed is all the tzaddikim. So what does it mean to get to that darga? So they bring down that the pshat, the Ran brings down, is that, you're saying ad lo yada, you're saying Baruch Haman, and then it's like, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, man. Like that. I don't even know what I'm saying. Once you can get to that's a simple pshat. I don't even know anymore. The guy's Lebedik, he just like, that's a simple pshat. He doesn't know the difference. He just doesn't even know what he's saying. And the frat, things that are so opposite, that black is white and white is black, it's something so, if it was a fine avchana, something very similar, you didn't know the difference between a red delicious and a pink lady apple. Not everyone knows that. It's like fine-tuned. So okay, maybe when people don't even drink, they don't know the difference. But to hear that a person doesn't know the difference of something so obvious. So the first darga is, he says, we just doesn't know what he is. The second nakuda they bring down from the Rashash, and they used to have a song, a piyut that they would sing, and at the end of each stanza, you'd have to yell out, Bog Mordechai, or Ora Haman, like a Chad Gadya. And if you got mixed up, and it was like your turn, like, say it, and he's, because he didn't know what to say. And he said the wrong one. You're there, you got there, you did it. Yotze Zion. So here's Yotze. Okay, that's one darga. They bring down from Abu Draham, famously, that the mitzvah of Baruch, Mordechai, and Ora Haman, you don't know the difference, is because Baruch Mordechai has the gematria 502. And Ora Haman has the gematria 502. So either you just don't know how to add up the gematrias. So some people might be yotze even without drinking. Mathematics is something that's not the forte. But let's say you know how to do math. And it's like, days. 2 is like, okay. Days. 2. Reish. 200. Okay, yeah. 200. And 2. Okay, I got to hold cup. 5. Okay, well, 6, 2, 200. Where are we at? Forget about it. Okay, so you're yotze. But that you can get, let's say you could even add them up. But even after you add them up, you see there's no difference between the Baruch Mordechai times in my life, which is when everything is going well, and the Ora Haman times in my life, when cursed is Haman and everything is going horribly. And I know that there's no difference between them, because it all comes from you, Hashem. That's what it really means. That's mamish what it means. That if a person can get to Purim, to that place, that's the side of Purim. He mamish doesn't know. He doesn't know the difference. What he thinks is so good, and what he thinks is so bad, everything is for the good. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a plan. He has a tremendous plan. Everything that's happening in the Megillah, everything that looked like it was an Ora Haman moment, was so bad. Cursed is Haman that he made that gallows. He's going to hang the tzaddik on it. And the very thing that he made, he becomes hung on that very gallows. What I thought was so bad. And so often in our life we find that there's things that happen to us that later on we realize, I had something very personal that happened to me. I hurt my hands doing something. And I had a significant time in my life that was very, very hard for me. Very, very hard for me. And I had to not do certain work things that I was normally doing. And it led to a whole sequence of events of meeting certain people and ultimately coming to Eretz Yisrael, which for sure I wasn't on that trajectory. But what I thought was so bad and was so crippling in my life had this secret. There was some side. It was a secret that Hashem was trying to tell me something. So like they say, hindsight is 20/20. But on Purim, if you can get to that place, that so to speak, and I'm quoting the Rosh Yeshiva, that you can take a Chaim and you make a list of all the things that are challenges in your life. That challenge and this challenge. Maybe it's things with work, maybe it's relationship challenges, maybe it's school things, maybe it's health things. And somehow on Purim, you take that list, you don't have to show anybody, but you know in your pocket what that list is all about. Be careful, sometimes the lists fall out in your pocket. But you make a note of what that list is, or maybe you just peek at it, and you make a l'chaim to every single one of those things. You say l'chaim, l'chaim. What I thought was so bad is coming to give me the greatest good. That's what the Sfarim say. When good is so good, this world can't handle it. So it looks dark. It looks bad. But what is really going on is Hashem is saying, go deeper. There's a deep, deep place inside of you. I'm trying to wake up. Gam zu l'toiva. Gam zu l'toiva. Also, this is for the good. That's why Gam is the Chiddush. I would have thought that it's not good. Gam zu l'toiva. There's a secret plan here. Hashem is guiding me in a certain way. So make a l'chaim on Purim to all those things. Now, practically, how should you all do this? Anybody that shows up with like an oversized goblet of anything, or one of these, single malt whiskeys on like a pulley system, just run away. The Chidah says that every single year, the Yetzer Hara dresses up as somebody around you. Be careful. Usually it's the guy that's like got some flask of something in his pocket, or a camelback, but unless he's offering you to take from his camelback. But usually it's the guy with the flask, or like something else, and he's like, "Yo, man, you want some of this, man? Yeah." Or he's the guy that as soon as you drink your cup, he's like, "Yeah." So be careful of that guy, the "Yo, man, yeah." Purim is not a Jewish frat party. Anyone who still thinks that that's what's about to happen is missed the whole secret of Purim. Purim is Kippurim. Purim is the holiest day of the whole year. Yom Kippurim. Everything is about getting us to the Kedusha, that Hashem has a plan and Ein Oid Milvadai. But it takes a lot of achonas to go into it properly. Therefore, none of this like, so how many bottles did you buy? So, how much do you have? Like, it's not about that. It's about, I personally feel very much connected to Rashi. Yayin, the shtaker beyayin, is to get very high on wine, but don't get something that's not good. Get small amount of very good stuff. The best bottles of wine that you can afford, ideally red wine, it's more choshev, yayin adaim, and the best stuff you can afford. Good stuff. How much do you need? I'll tell you. If you have one full becher of good yayin, like Hungarian wine, you feel good. So how should you do it? The Purim Surah Style, one David Mincha. Okay, here we go. We wash. Open the bottle. Okay, it's nice to have a cup. You don't need anything oversized, none of these goblets. A becher, silver. It's chashuv. If you have gold, fine. The prices are going up. Buy your golden goblets quick. So it costs you $30,000 for a cup, but it's worth it. That cup will go up to $30 million coming up soon. So you take your wine and you put it into the cup. Okay. Start a niggin. Da 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 ya da 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 hey ya da 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 ya da da hey ya da da hey ya da 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 and that can go on for like a good 3 or 4 hours, but we don't have time for that because it's Purim is Chal Be'er Shabbos. So therefore, whenever you feel like that niggin has reached its crescendo for the time being, you look at the yayin you have in mind that I'm making this bracha now, and I'm going to be moitzi all the yayin that's to come. And this is mamish my chefte shel mitzvah. It's the time for the Suda part of Purim. And you thank Hashem for all the blessings that He gave you. You thank Hashem that you have the opportunity to do Mechai Vinish Lebesume. Ad lo yada. You make a l'chaim to all the crazy stuff in your life. You say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I know you have a plan. And then you drink. You drink and you just sit with the yain in your system. 2 gulps is good. No pinky up, it looks too dainty. Just, like you would Kiddush, drink. Stark, good. The Gemara says in Erevin that it's, when you drink a little bit faster, it's starker. You feel the effects of the wine more, and then just sit. So remember I told you about the guy that's dressed up as the Yetzer Hara? He's like, right away he's going to come fill up your cup. It's Purim! He's like, Shkaya. You got to know how to play it, So, you just let it sit. Let it sit. Shkaya. To that guy, you could pour him if you want. Shkaya. You pick the guy, Shkaya. And just sit with that. Just feel. That's a good time to then really get into a niggun. A Berditchev Niggun, a Baal Shem Tov Niggun. I'll tell you. I think Akiva was there. Yeah, Akiva was definitely there. It was 2 years ago when also Shabbos, that Purim was Chal Be'er Shabbos, and we went Purim into Shabbos. And that night, it was on Leil Shabbos that we sang the Baal Shem Tov's Niggun. Remember, after a whole Purim, and then going to Breslov to daven, and then coming, and there was mikveh there somewhere, and then Leil Shabbos, we sang the Baal Shem Tov's Niggun. I don't know how long it went for. But at the end of the Niggun, we were all there. I was literally buzzing. I was not in my body. And I had a feeling of, that was the holiest Niggun I ever, that Niggun came from Shemayim, Mamish. And I felt that, like, it was a taste, literally, of Gan Eden, Mamish. That the whole buzz, it was so, you're so high in holy things. Stay off your phone as much as possible. What are you going to look? You're going to look at some image of some guy in short, pants, throwing a football around or something, or whatever that season's over, whatever the next one is. And it's just going to make you meshugana. Stay away from that. Just be totally present in that moment of Kedusha and Tahara. You don't need any Sfarim at the table. The Sfarim are you on Purim. The Sfarim are you. You are the Sefer on Purim. This really would take us a lot longer, and we would do some experiential stuff. But the ikar of Purim is that when the yain goes in, the soid comes out. How do you get ready for that? Cry to Hashem during these days. Say, Hashem, please, I want the deepest secret of who I am to come out. I came to Eretz Yisrael to find something deep. One Purim will change your life forever. We all know that we came here looking for something so life-changing. We didn't come to just, pick up a few Yiddish words, eat some good shawarma, gain some Gemara skills, and, decide to maybe go to a less secular college or something. We want to be something totally different. We're looking for that secret place inside of us, something so, so big. It's the whole side of Purim is at that moment say, Hashem, please, bring the Mashiach, bring everything. Bring everything. But you have to ask. You have to ask. They say a story of that there was a child in Yerushalayim, and he was going to, his father said to him, maybe go bring a Mishloach Manos to the Rak Mistrifka Rebbe. The old Rak Mistrifka Rebbe, I think Reb Veldel. And he said, yeah. And he went to go bring it to the Rebbe, and he gave the Mishloach Manos, and the Rebbe said, okay, here you go. It was the custom also to give like Purim gelt. So he gave him some Purim gelt, and he said, Freilich Purim. And the boy went. And when he walked down the steps, he said, what a fool. Such a fool. It was Purim. I was with the Tzaddik Ador. I didn't even ask for a bracha. But he was nervous to go back because then the Gabbayim would be like, oh, kid, what, you came back for more Purim gelt? Like what, you come second time for the Rebbe? Shoo. So of course, what did the Rebbe do? He was toifis b'machshavtoi. The Rebbe already knew what the boy was thinking from down the steps. So he sent his Gabbayim to go bring the kid. So the Gabbayim came to him, he said, the Rebbe wants to see you, the Rebbe wants to see you. So he went back up, And the Rabbi said, I knew what you were thinking. And he said, yes, Rabbi, please, can I have a bracha? He says, what do you want? He said, I want to be a Talmid Chacham and I want to have Yiras Shamayim. I gave him that bracha, and he went, and this person became a nifladik Talmid Chacham. The tzaddikim all said over this story that on Purim you have to ask, you have to reach out. Kol hapoishet yad, noisten loy. Hashem keeps all the mitzvahs also Purim. Anybody who asks, ein medaktik in b'mois Purim. We're not specific when it comes to the money of Purim. But you got to ask. Now some say that the reason why Chazal said to drink so much is you don't know how to ask. Because if you were to ask, mamish on Purim, you'd bring Mashiach, maybe before the time. But it means you have to drink, and you get to a place that you know that Mashiach is already here. You mamish, you're asking, but you're not asking all at the same time. Ad lo yada mamish. If someone thinks they're not going to drink properly, it's not good, don't drink. Prepare, cry to Hashem, say, Hashem, I want mamish a Purim like I never had before. I want to mamish know you, Hashem. I want all of Klal Yisrael to come home and binyan Beis HaMikdash. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want this to be a Yeshua for the whole world. Purim is the biggest, holiest day of the year. We should be Zoich HaMamish to Mekayim the mitzvah Ad Lo Yada, Ben Or HaMel Baruch Mordechai, to give Hashem a tremendous nachas ruach, and B'siyat D'Shmaya, bring the Geula Shleim B'mehir V'yameinu. Amen. Amen. Call to Oy Yade Ade Lo Yada, Ade Ade Lo Yada, Ade Lo Yada, Oy Ade Ade Lo Yada.